Well, here is part number two with Thad McCracken, currently driving to West Yellowstone. Um, we talked a little bit about his goals for the race. Tell us a little bit about your dogs.
Well, I've got the core of my team is a I've only ever had one litter of dogs in my lifetime. Most of the dogs I have I've purchased, but 5 years ago we had a litter of 11 dogs that are, I guess you could say, half streeper, half Jeff King lines. So those make up the core of my team. Eight of those dogs will be on my race team this year. Nine. Nine of them will be in my stage stop pool. So 9 of my dogs are all one litter. And then the rest of my dogs are all dogs that come from Bud and Lena Streeper. And in fact, the father of the 9 dogs that I bred is a dog I got from Bud years ago.
What was his name again? You told me the name before, but it's gone.
Yeah, his name is Wyatt.
Yeah.
And the mom dog name's Flo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now that you say that, yeah, I remember that. How has your training situation otherwise been back at home?
It's been the same as we have every year. In Oregon, it's not an ideal place to live to train dogs for races like Stage Stop. But we started, I think, the 7th or 8th of October. We finally got cold enough temperatures to be able to start training. So lately we've always been starting the 1st or 2nd week of October. We got on sleds a lot earlier than usual this year, and the 1st of December, I think, I was on a sled on snow. But then we've had our typical December can be you get in a couple of really good runs, and then there's a giant storm that dumps 4 feet of snow and hundreds of trees fall over the trail, and you spend a week and a half, out with the snowmobile club cutting trees off the trail and getting everything back. So we've had our ups and downs like everyone, and not really any different than I've had in any other year. Even as I was looking at my training log before I left for this trip, I'm exactly where I was when I started this trip last year. So it's been challenging, but it always is.
Well, I guess that's why you do it, don't you?
Yeah, if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's most of the best things in life are hard work, and that's why they're worth having. So, yeah, we're looking forward to. It's one of the super fun things to me about racing dogs and big races like the Stage Stop that bring mushers from such a diverse array of places is that we all have our different challenges. Some people have really cold weather. I never have really cold weather, but I have other challenges. And we all come and we see how it shakes out on snow on the same trail on the same day. It's amazing how close the race can be with teams that came from such different areas and have to deal with such different challenges. And then we come and go 35 miles and we're 2 minutes apart, or whatever. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, when you look at last year, Rachel Courtney from Manitoba, flatlands, very cold, you and her, you were literally, I think, like 5 minutes apart after 7 days of racing.
Yeah.
And
that's an honor for me to be in that, even discussed in the same class as someone like Rachel Courtney. She's a very accomplished musher in a lot of really big races. So yeah.
So when you look at the different stages in Wyoming, do you have any favorites or any of them you're not so fond about, or you find more difficult than others? How do you treat the different stages?
Yeah, well, I mean, I really like climbing. I can't really, just because of our training conditions and the trails we have here, I really can't show dogs a lot of speed without risking injury here. So I feel like my dogs perform reasonably well in long climbs, but probably not on long descents or flats. So I prefer stages that have a lot of climbing. So Driggs is one of my favorite stages for that reason. Big Piney as well, although I've never had a good run at Big Piney, even though it's one of my favorite stages. I'd say the hardest stages for me, probably Pinedale. Being the second day, Pinedale's a hard stage in my opinion, and it's only the second day. So, for someone like me who's coming, like my dogs are doing their long training runs. We're doing our longest runs of the year on the first couple of days of the race. So that's a tough stage.
Well, last year you got a double dose of that, and the second Pinedale one was extra special.
Yeah, I didn't mind the stormy weather. I mean, we had our issues on that second day, but the weather didn't bother me that much. I guess I don't want to say we train in that kind of weather all the time, because we don't, but we train in. I have a full-time job and 2 teenage kids and everything, so when we can train, we train, and if it's snowing and blowing, as long as it's safe, we go. So I actually kind of liked that second day at Pinedale last year, better than at least as good as the first day. I don't know if I want to say better than the first day. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that the conditions slowed everybody down.
Yeah, same here. I think it's part of racing to not only run dogs in the best of the best conditions with absolutely no uncertainties. It needs to be safe, no doubt about it. But a little challenge at times, I think, is a very healthy part for the race.
Yeah, it adds some flavor, I guess, and some variety. It's easy for me to say I like stages like that because I'm not. We had a lot of days last year where we had a hard, fast trail and really good weather. And if I'm honest, that's not the kind of trail my team is really built for. It was really surprising or challenging, I guess I should say, how fast the race was last year. I know that we finished overall a couple places lower than we did my first year, but my team ran the race much faster than we did the previous year.
I noticed that too about last year. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Last year was a quick race. Absolutely.
Yeah. And impressive teams that can do the paces they did day after day after day, and come to the start line with a full team of 10 out of that full of 14. I mean, clearly, a lot of teams are managing, really have their routines and their dog care and their team management and everything down. If you don't, I don't know how anyone can go that fast and still, and do it for 7 days. They don't really have all that stuff nailed.
So, Thad, who would you like to thank to make this madness for you possible?
Well, obviously my wife, Colleen, and my kids, Marina, Lisa, David, for tolerating me. It's always hard to leave them. It gets harder every year, actually, to go on the strips and leave them at home. So I thank them for all their help. And my employer, Cadence Design Systems, for letting me be on the road for 6 weeks and still be employed when I get back. That's always nice. And of course, my dogs.
Well, awesome. I thank you for your time. I wish you safe travels and see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, thank you. See you in 2 weeks.